And tonight we are following all the breaking developments out of Florida now that a special prosecutor has announced that George Zimmerman is being charged with second-degree murder in the case of Trayvon Martin. In addition, we have learned that Zimmerman is in police custody at this hour. And as more reaction to this news pours in, we thought we should take a step back and go in depth into how exactly we have reached this point, from the outrageous rhetoric to the blatant rush to judgment by even lawmakers, members of Congress. There were many controversial moments related to this incredibly tragic case over the past month and a half. Joining me now to talk about all of them, author, columnist Eric Rush, along with Fox News contributor Monica Crowley. Look, it's funny. I've said from the beginning, I want to get to the truth. And it is amazing the things that we've heard. In the next segment, we're going to play, you know, the new Black Panther Party that is talking about race riots and blood in the streets. In this segment, we're going to analyze, though, Congress, lawmakers, their rush to judgment, like this.
Trayvon was hunted down like a rabid dog. He was shot in the street. He was racially profiled.
Just because someone wears a hoodie does not make them a hoodlum.
I really, personally believe this is a hate crime.
By next week, we're looking forward to getting $1 million for the capture of George Zimmerman.
Jeb Bush helped pave the way for this senseless tragedy.
This investigation is laced with racial profiling, lies, and murder.
He was executed for WWB in a GC, walking while black in a gated community.
Let's not play this double standard of trying to demonize who is dead.
Eric, let me start with you. Hunted like a rabid dog, a bounty on his head, wanted dead or alive, $10,000, a hate crime, killed because he's black, racial profiling, executed, you know, walking while black in a gated community. All of these things said without any evidence yet presented proving any of these claims. I want to get your reaction.
Well, I think a lot of it speaks to the sort of worldview that these folks have with regard to, you know, hate crimes, racial politics in general. A lot of them are really looking for these sorts of things to happen so that they can, you know, stand out. You know, Sharpton, Jackson, you know, those guys, they're always looking for more exposure because that's their livelihood. And I understand that. But I think something else is going on in terms of the bigger picture with regard to activists such as the Black Panthers and people who are really a lot more on the radical side, even including some of these Congress people, because at this time they're looking to foment racial division. They want this sort of thing to happen because I think there are people who stand to gain politically from this sort of thing going on.
Well, we're going to deal with the issue of the Black Panthers in the next segment. We're also going to look at the media malpractice and their rush to judgment and the numerous mistakes they made in advancing a narrative that they've all had to retract. You know, one of the things, Monica, we tried to do here is, I use the term, I was in Atlanta when Richard Jewell was put in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He fits the profile of the lone bomber because he lives with his mother. And I defended him that day. He happened to hear me as the one person, which ended up with me getting the first interview with him. And we put on, for example, the attorneys for Trayvon Martin, the attorney. We put on the father of George Zimmerman, Robert Zimmerman. I was criticized for even daring to talk to George Zimmerman, confidential at this point. And all I've tried to get to is the truth. These are congressmen and women making declarative statements without zero evidence to back this up.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
In the most volatile situation that's going on.
Right. The point for them is not the search for truth. The point for them is to hijack this situation for political gain. It may be that Mr. Zimmerman's account of that night is 100% correct, and the facts will bear that out. Or it could be that he is guilty of everything his detractors accuse him of. The point is that nobody knows. For members of Congress and others in the media, like you're going to cover in a little bit, to go out there and hijack this case for their agenda purposes. And I think Eric is 100% correct. The left only operates on division. They can only succeed based on emotional arguments that generally have no basis in fact, and they need the divisions in order to push through their agenda. We are in an election year. They're exploiting this case for their agenda and for their political purposes in order to maximize the divisions.
And real quick, Eric, you know, and think about this. We had a police car that was shot at. We have a bounty on people's head. We have reports that these extreme racist neo-Nazi groups are now engaged. We've got talk about racial riots by the new Black Panthers. I'll play this in the next segment. And blood flowing in the streets. And these comments are made while none of this has been proven. I guess the sense of innocent until proven guilty is maybe gone. Why have a trial in the minds of these members of Congress?
Right. I really feel for the local law enforcement down there because of what they're having to deal with. But also, you know, the question is, to what degree is Zimmerman sort of an unwilling, you know, pawn in this political game, not if.
Yeah. Last word.
Yeah, look, they're exploiting this case, and the facts will bear this out. We have a legal process that's now ready to go. You get a charge, you get a trial, you get the assumption or the presumption of innocent until proven guilty. The burden is on the state to prove their case.
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
And then you get a verdict by a jury of your peers. That's the way it's supposed to move in this country. That's where we are right now, and everybody needs to back off and let cool heads prevail and let the legal process go forward.
All right, guys, thank you both for being with us. Eric, thank you for being with us. And remember, for example, this 2008 video of the Black Panthers, new Black Panther Party outside a polling place holding a billy club. Well, Eric Holder saw no reason to investigate whether this was voter intimidation. And now, up to now, he has turned a blind eye to the new Black Panther party down in Florida as they issue a bounty on George Zimmerman's head. When we come back, we're going to take another closer look at a member of Obama's inner circle as we vet the administration, the president, and we vet the media tonight and their irresponsible malpractice in this case. Straight ahead on Hannity.